On the hour, rugbyleague.com news. Brought to you by Thomson Reuters, the global leader for news.
Hull KR are into the Challenge Cup final after a 36-12 win over Catalans in York, and the Dragons coach is not happy. Let's have a listen to Steve McNamara.
Hull KR deserve to win. But how on earth you can go 80 minutes and not receive one penalty or 168? Sorry, we've got one penalty, Hull KR can tell the full. That's nearly impossible in this game. In the semi-final game, a neutral venue, we spoke about this before, it's a neutral venue, not to receive one penalty. The game's attritional. And momentum can swing really, really quickly on the back of decisions and calls, because that's just not acceptable. It's not acceptable.
So the details: Hull KR tries to James Batchelor in the 7th and 14th minutes, Jack Broadbent in the 55th and 68th, Mikey Lewis in the 32nd, Joe Burgess in the 72nd, Mikey Lewis kicking 6 from 7. The Catalans there 12 points coming from tries to Remus Smith in the 19th minute and Luke Keary in the 25th. Guillermo Espero Biche booted 2 from 2 and it was 16-12 at half time. Tomorrow, Warrington takes on Leigh for the other spot at Wembley on June 7. In today's women's semi-final, also at York's LNER Stadium, Wigan were too good for Leeds, 44-14. This is Steve Mascord for rugbyleague.com with the rest of today's news. Here's Jason Costigan.
Thanks, Steve. Well, Super Saturday in the NRL was just super duper. It finished Cowboys and four-time defending premiers Penrith going to Golden Point, but even then they couldn't get a winner. 30-all between the Cowboys and the Panthers at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. That was after the Panthers led 18-12 at the break in front of a crowd of 19,324. The Cowboys rallied late to score 2 converted tries inside the final 10 minutes to draw level. One of those kicks for goal from the sideline off the boot of Scott Drinkwater. Hence 30-all after 80 minutes, and that's how it stayed after extra time. For the Cowboys, tries to Jeremiah Nene, Viliami Vailea, Jake Clifford and Robert Derby, and Tom Dearden and Drinkwater with 5 goals. For the Panthers, Luke Garner scored a double. Tries also to Isaiah Papali'i, Thomas Jenkins and Blaze Talangi, and Nathan Cleary in his final game before the Blues picked their team for Origin 1. He kicked 5 goals. Earlier in Wollongong, the Warriors moved to second place with a skinny 15-14 win over the Dragons. It was 14-4 to the Warriors at half-time. At one stage, they led 14 points to 0 before the Dragons squared the ledger, only for the Wars to sneak home thanks to a drop goal by Luke Metcalf. He also scored a try, likewise Tane Tuapiki, and Metcalf with 3 goals plus that crucial 1-pointer. And as for the Dragons, they actually scored 1 more try than the Warriors. Clint Gutherson, Dylan Egan and Corey Allen all getting across the stripe, but just the 1 goal for Valentine Holmes in front of a crowd of 12,919. Super Saturday kicked off with a top-of-the-table clash in Canberra, and what a cracking game that was. After being down 20-0 at half-time, Canterbury Bankstown finished over the top of the Raiders to win by 32 points to 20 in front of 23,827 fans, the biggest Raiders home crowd since 1995. For the Doggies, tries to Stephen Crichton, Jamin Salmon, Marcelo Montoya, Max King, Viliami Kikau and Jacob Carraz. And with the boot, Crichton with 4 goals. And for the Green Machine, Zach Hosking, Kaio Weeks, Xavier Savage and Hudson Young scored tries, and Jamal Fogarty with 2 goals. In the second tier, New South Wales Cup action, day 1 of the regional Magic round in Tamworth. Penrith 40, Western Suburbs 16, Newcastle 24, North Sydney 26. And more than 500 kilometres away in the Gong, the Warriors, they beat the Canberra Raiders 46 points to 30. And in the Queensland Cup, in the catch-up matches, Norths won 14-10 against Redcliffe at KO. And up in Cairns, the Tigers beat the Pride 18-10, with Sylvester Namo playing his first game for the Tigers after the Coomels' return from the UK. Jason Costigan reporting for rugbyleague.com.